The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you on Fantasy. Get up to 1K in a deposit match with some Dark Fantasy promo code SGPN or our promo code MLB SGPN. And welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is currently Thursday afternoon, July 24th, around 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm Reichel, joined again by Lonte Smith. First time we've been together in a while since I've been back on vacation. Lonte, how's it going with you? Been a while. What's up?
Yeah, man, been a while, but it's been pretty good, man. I'm glad you got a little break in. I mean, we also got a little break while you were on your break, just the off-season. I mean, just the All-Star break. But yeah, man, everything's going good. We just I think we had a few good shows. I listened to Mal and D-Rock yesterday, so hopefully we can keep it rolling with our show today.
Yeah, I edited the show, so I listened to it too.
Yeah.
But in case anybody forgot, I do edit all the podcast episodes for the MLB Gambling Podcast. But it's a pretty weird slate on Thursday. You had one day game, and you have 4 other games. So it's a pretty empty slate for baseball. But either way, we have a bunch of games on Friday, of course. We have all 15 games, so we're going to be trying to make some money, finding some overall good picks, and once again, having some good overall times, and maybe make some good jokes along the way. Anyway, I do want to ask you, though, before we officially get started, if there's anything that maybe caught your eye in baseball the last few days. Anything you want to talk about?
I mean, not really. Just some. I guess I was talking about on the show, on the first show back with me and Mal. We were talking about kind of like teams that we were going to be, buying and selling. It's not been going good for me, man. My buyers were Atlanta and the Dodgers, and then they looked like shit.
No, the Dodgers won yesterday. They didn't deserve to win, but they found a way to win.
Yeah, but they haven't looked good, man. They haven't looked good at all. And then, well, I guess the teams I was selling was just pretty much the same. But yeah, the 2 teams that I was higher on, I thought that would come out with a little bit more, I guess, assertiveness. Just haven't been going. And then if you want to throw in the Yankees for, just the fandom and the ruining of a fandom, I guess you would say, then yeah. But all things considered, though, I mean, it's been pretty good. I mean, we got a lot of information. I think that's the best part about the second half of the season is that you get a lot more information to know what these teams are in terms of, and like to certain capacity. So just not a ton of overall low level stuff, but just some things that I was looking at like more surface level.
Yeah, Atlanta's just a joke and a half. I got nothing else to add on Atlanta.
Yeah,
it's one thing if you want to end up losing a series to the Yankees, like, okay, the Yankees still have talent on paper. You let Verlander get a win?
Yeah.
Really? Verlander? He didn't even pitch well.
Yeah, he was. He was not.
He went 5 innings, he walked 5 guys, and he couldn't score against him. It was embarrassing. But yeah, Atlanta, according to rumors, is going to be selling. Thank God. I mean, they really should sell half the team at this point. But that's another thing we got to mention in the next week or so. We do have, of course, the trade deadline happening. You have a lot of rumors, a lot of teams being linked to potential players, and we'll see what moves transpire over the next week. Besides that, though, I got nothing else to really add. Once again, a pretty weird day for Thursday on baseball, but a full slate for Friday, so looking forward to it. Before we get into any of the actual games for Friday, a reminder that if you want to check out all of the NFL team previews, you can, because Sports Gambling Podcast is back with the 32 NFL team previews. They're also bringing back the phrase that pays. Each episode will have a secret word in a 32-word phrase. You enter the phrase for a chance to win a $1,000 circa future. Anyway, moving on to the actual games here for Friday. Starting off with the first game on the card, you have the Marlins taking on the Brewers. For this one, you have Quantrill against Peralta. Milwaukee's still been rolling, and they are massive favorites, minus 220 at home. For Miami, you have plus 185. For the over-under, I see 8 in this game. For the run line, Milwaukee minus 1.5. I see plus 105 on Bet365. And then I see the Marlins being around minus 111, give or take, for the plus 1.5. Yeah, just give me Milwaukee. I'm not going to reinvent anything here. Milwaukee's been great. They're 20 games over. They're 16 over at home. Miami's actually only 5 under. Good for Miami. They're actually playing decently lately, as they have won 6 of their last 8. The problem is Milwaukee's been a freight train. I actually like their lineup a lot. They need another power bat in there, but they still find ways to score 6+ runs in almost every game while barely hitting home runs. But I think Peralta is obviously better than Quantrill. His ERA is virtually half of what Quantrill's is. Quantrill on the road also 6.2 ERA. He's been quite good lately, though. But I think Milwaukee's a different animal. I'm going to go with the Brewers minus 1.5. It's plus money. I can't turn that down for a Milwaukee team that has won, 12 of the last 13?
Yep.
So I'll take Milwaukee minus 1.5.
Yeah, I like Milwaukee here as well. I looked at their team. I might look at their team total over, but Miami, man, they've been feisty. They've won 6 of 10. They've been competitive. I think that was a team. So in twofold, I was buying them coming in, and they start off not so good. I also was buying Sandy, and he just bombed from the jump. So I like Miami. I really do. I like their collection of players. I like what they got going. They got some young guys in the farm system that I think will be developing into something in the next few years. So. They're good for Miami, man. They're being competitive. Like you said 5 under?
Yes.
Yeah,
which feels like 10 over for Miami.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Under. Yeah, especially with how they started. So, I like Milwaukee here, though. I think Peralta, obviously he's got 7 straight wins, 3.18 ERA in that span, 34 to 9 K to walk ratio in that span. He's been dominant at home, 1 earned run or less in 4 of his last 6. So. I don't see a world where Miami, comes in and cools them down. Although, like you talked about, Quantrill, he's been steady. I mean, 3 or less runs in 7 of the last 8. Mm-hmm. He's been pretty good on the road. He did pitch a few weeks ago against Milwaukee, and he was okay. I mean, only 3 2/3 pitch, but 2 earned runs allowed. So I like Milwaukee. Long term, I think they got to add an arm in that rotation behind Peralta. Somebody a little bit more proven. That can get you, past a game 2 in a postseason. Like I think.
And where would you put Miz if you had to pick a rotation for a potential first round?
I don't. I guess it just would depend upon opponent. You think?
I feel like you'd blindly want Miz at home.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm assuming you don't want the rookie to have his first postseason start on the road.
Yeah, that's fair.
So maybe you'd want to give him game 2, but Woodruff's been fantastic. So Peralta and Woodruff are probably your 1 and 2. Milwaukee, it might come down to if they win the division or not. Because if they don't, and they're a road team, I think Miz might, in theory, pitch potentially one of the first 2 games. But I think on the road, if you have the first 2 games in an opposing ballpark and you have game 3 at home, then maybe you use Miz in game 3. But
but you don't want it. But what
no, short leash and all, but you'd have to start.
I would add another arm, just insurance-wise. I would just add another arm because you never know how he reacts to. I mean, young pitcher, big stage, like that's a huge stage.
Yeah, Trevor's mentioning Quintana as well, who does have postseason experience. He'd be in there too. I think Priester, despite being very good this season, would be, I don't want to say the odd man out, but with the lack of actual, I'd say, resume. And the fact that Miz has been just an absolute revelation on the mound.
Yeah,
I think Priester. You can argue Priester and Miz might, I don't want to say piggyback each other, but that could be an option in theory if you just trust Woodruff, Peralta, and Quintana for 3 starts in a postseason series. You could do some type of joint venture with Miz and with Priester if you want to. Yeah. I think the starters are fine. I think you could argue the bullpen maybe could use another arm because you never have too many bullpen guys.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the rotation's fine. You could argue they could use an ace, but I don't know which ace would even be available on a team right now. So I think
would you get Gallen?
No.
He hasn't been good right now, but somebody's gonna take a shot on him.
I don't think he's worth the risk for Milwaukee, for a team that actually could maybe host a playoff series.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go for Gallen. I'm trying to think of who I would even consider, but to be honest, I kind of like the rotation. I'm not against it. You could argue that
I'm not against it.
Regular season, postseason, it might be a bit different.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Woodruff, when healthy, solid amount of experience. Quintana was great in the postseason last year. And Peralta, we know, can be up and down, but he's been good lately. So I don't mind the rotation, actually.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I think
a bullpen arm would be helpful. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I think if you have, you just got to have some kind of insurance in case Miz, and we know how Peralta is on the road in certain situations. He's been better this year, but yeah, I mean, just something to think about long term. But I'm pretty sure. I mean, it might just stay in pack. I mean, I don't know. It's just something that I was looking at.
Yeah, Trevor's saying ask about Sale. He's got a destroyed ribcage. He's not going to help you in a postseason run. He's out for the year. So Sale would help you next year, in theory. But once again, trying to think of aces that are available.
It's not many available, though. It's not many available.
And, of course, you're not going to see Skubal or Skeens on the market, so that's not even an option. Not that Milwaukee could get them anyway. But how many truly elite pitchers would you be interested in that are actually available? Not many. So you're kind of just stuck. Yeah. I'm trying to think of who would even be in.
You think the Pirates would get rid of Mitch Keller? I like Mitch Keller.
Keller's an option, which I think makes sense. Unless you think the market would be better for him at the off-season break. I don't know. But Keller's actually built himself a pretty good, I'd say, trade package based on how he's pitched this season.
Yeah, he's good.
So I think the bullpen thing's a concern. My main issue for Milwaukee, I know they can get by moving the actual line with singles, etc. They really could use a bit more pop in that lineup. I see Trevor mentioning Austin Riley. That might be a little bit too optimistic, but we'll see if Atlanta does sell him off. That's the idea I'm going for. Something like that. I do think they could use a solid power option, even off the bench. Just somebody that can give you a different look.
Yeah, DH, yeah.
Something like that. I think I mentioned, who did I mention? Nathaniel Lowe a couple weeks ago for Milwaukee, which I still think has some merit to it. We'll see if that works out. But I think Milwaukee would trade for a bullpen guy and an infielder with some pop.
Yes, sir.
Before they trade for another starting pitcher, in my opinion.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, Trevor, that's why Sale hasn't pitched in like 2 months. He's dead. So he's going to come back next year, but his ribs are destroyed. So Atlanta shut him down. But anyway, a point is I'm going with Milwaukee. I don't mind the under in this game, though, backing Quantrill's recent good form. Moving on to the next game, Diamondbacks, a team that's selling. That's an option. Merrill Kelly is an option if you want to go for
both Kellys.
Both Kellys, true. But either way, for this one, you have Nelson going up against Burrows. For this one, Arizona's minus 125. The Pirates, who have been surging lately, sweeping the Tigers over the last couple days. They're plus 105. And for the over-under, I see 9 as the total. Suarez may or may not be on this team by the time this game takes place. Probably will, because they're going to field every offer they can until they get the right offer at the last minute. So assuming Suarez is there, Perdomo's still very good. You have Carroll, who's been solid as well, and Marte's back in the lineup, but the team's not going anywhere. They've admitted that they're going to be selling off some key pieces. Gallen, Suarez, maybe Kelly if they get the right offer, etc. Pittsburgh, though, you know what? They've been playing hard, and that counts for something when you're in the basement of a division. I do think that Nelson is the better pitcher compared to Burrows, but you know what? I like what Pittsburgh's done. Bednar's been fantastic for about 2 months, so they actually have a legitimate closer again. He might get traded in a couple weeks, we'll see. But I'll go with Pittsburgh, actually. You know what? They're that many games under 500, but they're over at home. Good enough for me. Give me Pittsburgh to find a way at plus money.
Yeah, I don't love it. Actually, the market agrees with you. I think this opened like close to 135, 136. So
I get it because Burrows isn't very good and Nelson's been fine. But you know what? I'll trust Pittsburgh at home.
Yeah, and like you said, it just boiled down to me. It just boiled down to the pitching matchup. I mean, I prefer Nelson over Burrows. Burrows is not much length, although the bullpen for the Pirates has been, a lot better. Good. Yeah, it's been a lot better as of lately. But it's a good, like they had a good sweep against Detroit, but Detroit's struggling. But
we'll get to Detroit later. They're a whole separate story, but they're falling apart.
Yeah, and they were swept by the White Sox. So I mean, it's just like no consistency. Neither team is more consistent. I mean, has shown any consistency. But I just prefer Nelson. I mean, he threw 6 2/3 scoreless versus Pittsburgh back in May. Not much has changed within the lineup, so he should be fine there. He's been up and down on the road his last handful of starts, but I'm going to trust just his current form right now. His last 7 starts, 2.29 ERA, 0.99 WHIP. So he's been in pretty good form as of lately, despite the up and down numbers on the road. So I'll take a shot with the Snakes on the road.
Yeah, once again, I understand that Arizona on paper might be the better team, but both teams might be selling. I'll buy in on the momentum for 2 teams not worth a damn. But at least one team is giving constant effort at home. That's good enough for me. So I'll go with the Pirates, but I don't mind the under maybe. Even with Pittsburgh winning these games against Detroit, they still can't really score.
Yeah.
They're still dead last in runs per game. Arizona's offense, Suarez has been quite good lately. They had a pretty up and down series against Houston, but I think it's under or pass just based on Pittsburgh being involved.
I was looking that way as well.
Yeah, but it's at 9. I don't mind that. Anyway, moving on to the next game on the card. Next game is going to be between the Rockies and the Orioles. Congratulations to the Rockies, by the way, who ended up setting a pretty, I'd say, fun historical record, or snapping it, I should say, because it was their first shutout in 220 games. 220. It was the longest streak in 120 plus years. Congratulations. It's their first shutout in a long, long time.
Yeah.
So there you go. Colorado was the only team in MLB history since 1901 to go 200 plus games without a shutout. Congratulations to the Rockies for actually snapping that streak. For this game, they're probably not going to shut anybody out now because Freeland's pitching. They're against Kramer in this one. For the actual money line here, I see Baltimore at minus 200. I see Colorado at plus 190, give or take. And for the over-under, I see 9.5 or 9. Mainly 9. FanDuel, though, does have a rogue 9.5. For the run line, I see Baltimore minus 1.5 at plus 100. I see Colorado plus 1.5 at minus 120. Colorado, of course, still awful on the road. They are 12-38. Baltimore won the final game against the Guardians today, even though Kwan somehow with 2 home runs in a game. But the point is, Kramer's been good lately, and his numbers have been respectable this season after being a fade for most of, I'd say, the start of the season. But Kramer has allowed 1 run in his last 2 starts combined in 14 innings. He's been quite good. Freeland has not. Freeland has a 2-10 record with a 5.19 ERA. He has been better on the road, been better lately, allowing less than 4 earned in 3 straight. But the Rockies on the road, congratulations. You won via shutout. I'm proud of you. You're a terrible road team. Give me Baltimore minus 1.5 at even money.
Yeah, I like Baltimore as well, but I will give credit Colorado, man. They've been playing really well. 4-2 of the last 6. They've scored 6+ runs in all 4 of those wins. Freeland's been okay, and he's pitched against some quality offenses. He pitched well against Boston, against Houston, and against Philadelphia. So he pitched well against those guys. 3 or less in 6 of the last 7. He's pitched deep in the game, 6+ innings. But again, I think they come back down to earth a little bit here with Baltimore, who's been struggling themselves. They've had one. They're 1-7 in the last 8. They've allowed 6+ runs in 5 of those 8 games. So not looking good. I do like Baltimore's team total over. I was going to take the full game over, but I think Kramer goes well. He's been pitching extremely well as you brought up earlier, especially at home. I mean, right now he's on a 14-inning scoreless streak at home, so he's riding that into this game, and I think he may give up 1, maybe. But I like Baltimore to win, somewhere 6-1, 4-1, or something like that.
Yeah, the Rockies' reward for a shutout win is being only 50 games under 500. So there you go. Moving on, though, to the next game. You have what could be arguably the series of the weekend. Maybe not for us, but for baseball fans, because the Phillies take on the Yankees. For this one, you have Taijuan Walker, who I'm sure you forgot about, taking on Will Warren. Now, for this one, you have the Yankees at minus 150. You have the Phillies at plus 128. For the over-under, I see 9.5. Just give me the Phillies. Like, I understand that Walker's not great, but at the same point, his ERA is actually okay at 3.75. He's been good on the road, 2.19 ERA. He has pitched a couple of times in July, and he's been up and down, which is pretty standard at Taijuan. He's either pitching okay or he's giving up 8 hits in 5 innings. It's kind of how he goes. For Warren, a 6-5, 4.91 ERA. Been good at home, though. Does have a 3 ERA. Was not good against Atlanta last time out on the road, but his home starts have been quite good, so keep that in mind. Having said that, after watching whatever the hell that was over the last few days against Toronto, I cannot lay 150 with this team. The Yankees, I understand, have talent and they're good at home. I get all this, but they can't field. The bullpen has no arms, and the ones that are there aren't any good. Devin Williams has been pretty good in the 9th inning, but you're thinking of the options they have now. You have Loizaga, who's been brutal. Efros got shelled the other night against Toronto. You're looking at a bunch. I mean, Weaver's been fine, not as good as he was last year, but he's been okay. And you're looking at Williams, who's only there in closing situations. So I don't like the bullpen. The fielding's a mess. They're still using Peraza and Volpe every game, so just punch me in the face. I got nothing else to really say about this team right now. I think the Yankees have been kind of just an underwhelming baseball team to watch for the last couple of weeks, and that was the cherry on top in a negative way in the finale against Toronto. Philly did blow the game against Boston yesterday. They lost in extras, still a pretty decent series for them. I still like their overall team, and I think they're the better team in this matchup. 150. Even though it's Taijuan Walker, that's an insane price to lay with the Yankees right now.
Yeah.
I would put the Yankees at like minus 125. But 150 I can do, and I think they're not even the best team in this matchup. Give me Philly.
Yeah, 150 is a little bit rich. Although I do think they win the game. They're home after back-to-back road series. Obviously underwhelming in that Toronto series. But I mean, Warren is just he's been lights out at home, man. He's been lights out at home, but he's got some issues. He got two big issues. He got some walk issues and he got some home run issues. That's not what you want to. That's not what two issues you want to have against Philly. I know Philly's been about 500 the last 10. But if you want to compare like just how they look in the last 10 games, as the Yankees are 500 as well, Phillies look much better in their 5-5 than the Yankees do. I looked at over to be honest. I mean, I don't trust Walker. I think the Yankees offense can get to him early on. If they get to the bullpen, I think that'll just wake the offense up. So I think we could see a lot of runs here. 9.5 seems a little high, and I know Warren's been okay, but like you said, he can still give up 2 or 3 runs. And still pitch okay. So I like the over. 150 is a little bit too rich, but I do think the Yankees is the right side.
Yeah, they might be, but I'm not willing to find out.
Yeah, I'm not either.
It's Philly or pass for me.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Anyway, before we get into the remainder of the slate for Friday, a reminder they're brought to you by Circa, still hosting the overall, I'd say, very, very fun and potentially expensive contest for Circa Million, Circa Survivor, and Circa Redissimo. Over 21 million guaranteed prizes. You can't call yourself a true DGen if you're not competing in the Circa football contest. Coming out with SGPN at Circa Contest Weekend, August 21st through the 23rd, for an amazing weekend, including live shows and open bars. Plus, you get 15% off a stay at Circa with promo code SGP15. Contest open to everyone. Sign up in Nevada. Play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com. Use code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy because they're doing Best Ball Mania happening all summer long, giving away 15 million in prizes, including 2 million for first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Underdog's also a great place to play pick 'em from anywhere if you want to try to win 5 times your entry. When you sign up, though, for your new account, use the code MLBSGPN to get a special pick and never that offer up to $1K in bonus cash. Fantasy promo code MLBSGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through the first couple games on the card for Friday. Time to keep it rolling with the other potential series of the weekend. You have the Dodgers taking on the Red Sox. Both teams not looking too good post-All-Star break, but Boston's back at home, so maybe that'll help out. For this one, you have Sheehan pitching for the Dodgers, and you have Bayo pitching for Boston. Dodgers minus 125, Boston is plus 105, and for the over-under in this game, I see the line being set at 10. I see some 9.5 though, but I also see a couple of 10s. Dodgers were able to salvage the final game against Minnesota. Didn't look good at all, but you know what? They won the series. That's good enough, I guess. Boston won the final game against the Phillies. Not a good series besides that, but still you got to start somewhere. Bayo's been great. Sheehan has been, honestly, I haven't thought about Sheehan once this entire season, but his ERA is okay. His 4.41, has a 2.08 ERA on the road. Not pitched much this season. He was not good last start, though. 3 innings, 5 runs against the Brewers. I think I like Boston this one, mainly because I like Bayo, and I do think that plus money is appealing, but I don't really trust this Boston bullpen at all. So give me Boston first 5.
Yeah, I like Boston and I like over. I think you hit it on the head as far as, he's been okay. He had allowed one, I think he had 4 starts. He had allowed exactly 1 run in the first 3, and then he allowed 5 last start. I forgot who they played, but Boston, I think, man, they're back home after being 2-4 in back-to-back road series. I trust Bayo to kind of get things done the way the Dodgers have been playing. They're kind of just going through the motions, and I thought it would be the exact opposite. But plus money with the better pitcher. Bayo's been super solid. 2 earned runs or less in 4 of his last 5 at home. He's not allowed over 3 earned runs since mid-May. He's been really good, and the way the lineup is for the Dodgers, they obviously could, get hot at any time, but I'm going to bank on Boston's offense, just maybe winning a shootout here. But if they can win that, but also I think that Bayo can outdo Sheehan. So I'll go Boston with the plus money, and I'll take the over, find that 9.5, and go over that.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid the Dodger late game heroics, so I'll just take the first 5 instead for this
That's
one.
fair. I like that first 5 too.
Moving on to the Rays against the Reds, you have Littell against Martinez. For this one, you have the Rays being minus 120 favorites, the Reds are plus 100, and the over-under is set at around 9.5. Now, both pitchers, you could argue, are kind of similar because they pitch to contact and they try to keep the ball in the ballpark, but Martinez at home this season has been pretty similar to his road numbers. Been good lately, though. He has allowed 2 earned in each of his last 2 starts. The Reds, though, have been very good with him pitching, as they have quietly won 5 of the last 6 starts that he's made. In fact, every game they've won has been by at least 2 runs. So they've been pretty good with Martinez pitching. The Rays, though, have been good. Now, they had a pretty weird finale there against the White Sox. They lost the series to the White Sox, which I feel like was not really talked about enough. But they blew the game yesterday, mainly because, damn, Taj Bradley was terrible. He got demoted after the game. So Taj Bradley continues to not figure it out despite having good stuff. But for this matchup in itself, the Reds have been a very up and down team. Same record is not surprising. The Reds had a pretty underwhelming series against the Nationals as well. So we'll see what happens. But for this matchup, I'll ask you because I think Tampa's the better team, but I don't really see much separating these teams. That's kind of the problem that I have here. Do I want to lay 120 with Tampa? I'd argue it maybe should be more expensive, but the Reds have been really good with Martinez pitching. As you can tell from my hesitation, I will not be betting on this game because I have no interest on it. I'll go with the Rays, but I'm not going to bet on this game. I don't mind the under, though. I think Littell and Martinez have actually been pretty decent.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tampa. I don't love it. I don't love it, but I like it. They've struggled, man. They had a series loss against the White Sox at home. That didn't look good at all.
They fumbled that game away yesterday.
Yeah, and I like Littell. He's at 4 or less in 6 straight, including 3 of those were on the road. He's a North Carolina guy, so I root for him. Quality starts in 3 of his last 4.
I didn't even know he was a North Carolina guy.
Yeah, he's from Burlington, not too far from me. Martinez, he's fine. I mean, like you said, pitches to contact. If the Rays offense can kind of wake up, they might can do something. But just their overall of what they've been doing as of late just hasn't been impressive. I mean, Martinez has had less than 4 Ks in 3 of his last 4 games. So if the Tampa offense kind of jump on them early and force Cincinnati to go to the bullpen, I think they'll be okay. So I'm going to take Littell in the minus 120.
Yeah. Moving on to the next game, you have the other very good series, or it was about a week and a half ago. I don't know what Detroit's doing, but you have the Blue Jays taking on the Tigers in this one. For this matchup, you are looking at what is supposed to be an intriguing matchup, either for better or worse, because the Blue Jays have been surging, and the Tigers are still up by about 9 games in that really bad division.
Right.
But they have been just not good. I'll put it that way. For this one, though, you have Berrios against Montero. Montero's been surprisingly decent this season. A 4-2, 4.28 ERA. Berrios, though, 6-4, 3.87 ERA. For the money line in this game, Toronto is minus 115. I see Detroit at minus 105, and the over-under is set at around 8.5. Minus 125, though, on the over. Yeah, I'm going to be quick. I can't back Detroit. Just based on their form, what have they lost? 8 of 9?
I think I lost 9 of 10 to be
9
exact.
of 10 now? Okay.
Yeah.
It's been ugly. They can't score. The pitching's been okay, but that doesn't matter because they can't hit. And they got swept pretty handily by Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was a fluky comeback here or there. They got outplayed in almost every game.
Yeah.
And I do think Toronto, just watching them play, not even just against the Yankees, but watching them play in general, it's not fluky. This team's good. Like, this is a solid baseball team. The bullpen's been cooperating for now. I'll put it that way. Rotation is fine. They remind me a bit of Milwaukee in a way, not just for the surprise element to it, but the lineup is deep. Vlad has not been hitting many home runs this season, and Toronto does have more power in general than Milwaukee. But they have a lot of guys that construct a ton of really good at-bats, and that's good enough for me. It feels like everybody that comes to the plate in that lineup can easily work off a 7 to 10 pitch count. Everybody's battling. They build the pitch counts quickly. They get to the bullpen fast. And they're really good at not striking out. They are averaging the fewest strikeouts per game in the entire league. They've been really, really good. And I'm going to give them props for it. I think that they are right now the best team in the AL East. Not just by standing, but based on actual visuals. I think they're a good baseball team. Detroit right now, I don't know what they're doing, but I can't back them. I'm taking the Blue Jays in this game.
Yeah, what was the price again for Detroit?
Detroit was a minus 105. I saw minus 102 on FanDuel. But with their current form, I can get Toronto at minus 115. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, so I was going to be on Detroit, but they took some money. They were a plus 110 earlier, but I can't take them right now. I got to have a plus sign beside them. I think it's a good buy low spot for him. I mean, Berrios has struggled 4+ runs in three of his last 4. I'm sorry. He's either been really good on the road or really bad. It's really no in between. Like
I watched Detroit yesterday get absolutely destroyed by Bailey Falter. Like I don't even know if that matters anymore for pitcher stats. Falter was incredible yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has one of those days. Yeah, I mean, and Toronto's lost 3 or 4 on the road. That series against the Yankees was a big one, and I think it's a big series for Detroit because then we'll get to them later, but while they're losing, Cleveland is winning. It's not, that's cutting into that lead like you talked about at the top.
To be fair, Cleveland did lose today, but yes, right now the innings.
Yeah, but they won like 8 of 11 though, right?
Yes,
yeah,
Cleveland
won like 8 of 11.
Officially at 500 again. Congratulations, you're at 500. They are 8.5 games clear of Cleveland.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah, but yeah, Montero's he's been steady. I think it's a good word for him. 3 or less and 4 straight at home. I mean, I can't bet it now, but if you put a gun in my head, I would bet Detroit. I just want a plus sign beside it. I mean, I saw plus 110 earlier. I missed it. I thought it would get bet a little bit further up just because of exactly how you just broke it down.
To be fair, we got a long way to go before this game happens. You might see a decent amount of line move coming in.
Yeah, but they're coming in on Detroit, so maybe
for now we'll see what happens. But
yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I can't bet them right now. I do think they have a good series, but I can't bet them. It's got to be a plus. It's got to be a plus sign beside them.
Yeah, I just feel like the problem once again is that Detroit right now can't hit, and Toronto just constructs really good at bats. I think that's a problem.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think if we're arguing about which team should have more runners on base in the series, I'd pick Toronto. So I'll pick them to win this game at a pretty decent price. Moving on to the next game, you have the Padres taking on the Cardinals. Damn, the Cardinals have fallen apart. They're 1 over, but it has not been pretty for the last couple of weeks. They DFA'd Fetty, which is a shame for me because I really enjoyed fading him the entire season. For the Padres, though, they have Pivetta going for this game. Pivetta 10-2 quietly, a 2.81 ERA. You have Mikolas, who is, I guess, similar to Fetty, but he's still employed, so I guess that's better. 5-7, 5.2 ERA. For the money line, San Diego's minus 130. Cardinals are plus 110. For the over-under, I see 8 or 8.5. I know San Diego's a team I don't trust either. I can't back the Cardinals right now.
Right.
I can't do it. They've been really bad. I know that they're good at home this season, but it is not working. They have lost 5 of 6. You can go back even further. They've been slumping for multiple weeks at this point.
7 of 10.
I was going to say a borderline month at this point.
Yeah, they lost 7 of 10.
They're in 4th place now in the NL Central. It's not looking pretty good. Maybe they'll sell at the deadline. Who knows? But for this matchup, I think Pavetta's better than Mikolas by a decent amount. And San Diego's not been good recently, but they've been better than this team. I'll take San Diego minus 130.
Yeah, I like San Diego as well. I also like the over. We'll start with San Diego. I mean, they're 6-4 the last 10. This is their 3rd straight road series. So I guess it's not because I think one was before the All-Star break. So I guess back-to-back so far. But Pavetta's been good, man. His last 6 starts, he's got 2 earned runs. Last 5 starts, 2 earned runs. He got 36 Ks. Under 4 hits allowed in 4 of those, so he's not even allowing a lot of contact. He's got 2 or less in 3 straight on the road. I mean, St. Louis is a mess right now. Mikolas has allowed 5+ in 3 of his last 4. He is much better at home, but again, current form, don't really trust him. I like Pivetta over Mikolas. I prefer the San Diego offense as well. And St. Louis was hanging their hat on offense. Like they were just outscoring teams early on when they were playing well. Right now, I think 130 is a good price for him. But over is probably my favorite bet of the two.
Yeah, I see Gio mentioning the wind's blowing out, and it's supposed to be pretty hot in St. Louis. We did this with the Cubs one time where Mikolas gave up, I think it was like 9 home runs or something crazy, and the Cubs had a monster game. That was July 4th, I think. But the point is, Mikolas I don't like anyway. If you want to add a couple extra feet to fly balls against him, sure. He might get killed in this game. So there we go. I'll go with San Diego for this one. Moving on to the next game. Looking at a matchup between the Cubs and the White Sox. For this one, you have Imanaga against Hauser. For the actual money line, I do see the Cubs favored, obviously, at minus 190. I see the White Sox at plus 160, give or take. For the over-under, I see 8.5 or 8. Now, Imanaga has been off on the shelf for a part of the season. He's come back, though, and he's been pretty good. In fact, since coming back, his last 3 starts, for example, he's allowed 3 earned runs combined. So he has been shoving lately. Hauser has been good this season. Was not very good in his first start post-All-Star break as the Pirates got to him, but they eventually got the job done and they were able to salvage it. It is worth mentioning, though, the White Sox have been on a massive heater with Hauser pitching because the White Sox have won 5 straight that he's made a start in. So keep that in mind. His home numbers, though, are insane stuff. He's 4-0 with a .69 ERA at home. .9. I think it's a massive line on the Cubs. I get it, because the Cubs are the better team. The White Sox, though, took a series against Tampa. They've been hitting a little bit. They were able to sweep the Pirates. They scored a bunch of runs in that series as well. I don't actually mind the White Sox for the price. I think the Cubs should win this series based on talent alone, but I do think the White Sox are mispriced based on current form. So I'll go with the White Sox, actually, but I want to check the weather quickly, because it is in Chicago, and I actually like the pitchers involved. I like the under, assuming the wind is not going to be blowing out like crazy in this matchup. So let me just quickly see what the wind is going to be for this game. So sorry, just pulling that up right now. Wind is blowing side to side. It's fine. Give me the under in this game.
Yeah, so I disagree. I like the Cubs here a lot, actually. I figured this is a game I had circled coming up this week coming up today because the White Sox have been playing well. Credit to them. Hauser's been really good. You ran off his stats. 4 straight wins. Like 1.56 ERA in 9 starts. But I think he has some regression coming for him. He allowed 17 hits, but only 4 earned in his last 2. So I think that may come to a halt here. And I figured the way the White Sox were going, we were going to get a price in this. So I like the minus 1.5 for the Cubs. I mean, Cubs have won 8 straight versus the White Sox. 3-0 this year. They outscored them 26-8 in that series. But I mean, credit to the White Sox. I mean, 5-1 the last 6, all on the road. This will be a fun matchup, I think. I don't think it'll be as lopsided as the first few games of the series that they played early in the year. But I do like the Cubs to win somewhere, 4-2, 5-2.
I like the under, so it's fine with me.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the Cubs. I think the Cubs are a great. I think if you like to bet parlays, I think the Cubs and the Brewers is a really good parlay.
All right, there you go. Moving on to the next game, you have 2 teams that are really heading in opposite directions right now. The Rangers have found a certain Bochy magic again because they've been winning a bunch of games lately. They're 3 over 500. They might make a wild card spot. That's how crazy the run's been lately.
I don't think anybody wants to see him.
I was going to say, we know last time they won the World Series, the only time they did, they were a wild card team. Yeah. So keep that in mind. For Atlanta, I don't know what they're doing. So they've just been really bad. So nothing else to add. They're 13 games under. They're going to sell off half the team. You have Wentz pitching for this one against Eovaldi. For the pricing in this one, I see the Rangers at minus 160. I see the Braves at around plus 140. The over-under is set at 8 or 8.5. It took until the middle or end of July for sportsbooks to finally realize the Braves are a terrible baseball team. It took a really long time, but we finally got here. Texas, though, has been on an absolute heater. They're 11 games over 500. They've won 6 of the last 7. They've won 8 of the last 10. And they're looking good. It's not fluky. The pitching's been incredible.
It's all year, though. Yeah,
I know, but to mention the offense is finally waking up because Seager's healthy for them. But to mention the actual pitching in detail, the Rangers have allowed less than 3 runs in 7 straight games. They have been just pitching 0 after 0 in almost every inning. I think Texas wins. I think Atlanta's a joke baseball team. I think Eovaldi's good. I think Wentz isn't very good. Give me Rangers minus 1.5.
Yeah, man, I like Texas as well. They are really, really intriguing with how well they're playing. I mean, the pitching has been like that all year. The offense just kind of like imagine what their record would be if they could just score like 3 runs. Like if they could score, I think they could just get to 3 and be fine, which is how well their pitching staff has been. Of all these, he was dealing with some back tightness, so he missed his last start. He's coming off, I think, maybe 11 days rest, if I'm not mistaken. But he had one combined run in his last 3 starts. Has allowed over 1 run once since April 25th. So he's been phenomenal. I mean, obviously, we talked about Atlanta early on. I mean, I don't really trust Wentz at all. He looked okay versus the Yankees, but I mean, we talked about the Yankees earlier as well. I like under. Texas also a good parlay piece with one of those teams that I mentioned earlier. So I like the under, and I like Texas -1.5.
Yeah, I do want to point out Rangers -1.5 is +135. So I
can get it because if it's going to be a low scoring game, I mean,
with the home team might not bat in the ninth. I get it at all, but with the current form, I think +135 is worth grabbing.
100%.
Yeah, I see a question from Gio for you, Lonte, asking how you actually bet on some of the games when it comes to dogs. Do you split your bets half for a potential spread, half for how exactly do you break down your units?
So basically, it just depends upon the pitcher. I'll use, like, for example, I haven't placed anything today, but like say for instance, if I like the pitcher and I don't like the bullpen or I don't like the offense, I'll bet like a full unit first 5 and maybe like a quarter unit on the full game, depending on the price. But what I generally do, just my rule of thumb is just take the full game. Unless it's is he talking about just strictly dogs? Just like strictly just.
I assume that's what he was referring to, but I was gonna let you interpret it however you want.
Yeah, well, if he's talking about just dogs, yeah, I generally just bet them, straight out. And if the pitcher I like is a first 5 and he's getting a decent amount of money, then I mean if they're getting a decent plus price, then I'll bet like half and half, like just split a unit, half unit on the first 5, half unit on the full game. Sorry if that don't make sense.
Yeah, but as for me, I'm not really the kind of guy that splits units that way. If I like a play, I'm betting it for a unit, basically, and I'll just go from there. I don't really deviate that much. Player props, all the stuff I give out on the prop shows, same thing, unit for all those that I like. I don't really venture off that much when it comes to creative unit sizing. Yeah. Sometimes, though, if like Adam sends me a play, I'll do it to win a unit. Like that's kind of my only 2 breakdowns.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's either I'll risk to win a unit. I'm basically risking a unit either way, but I'll be laying it and I'll be putting over like some extra money in order to win a unit.
Yeah. It just depends for me because like if I got a high volume day, like if I like a lot of stuff, then I want to dial it back to only the plays that I like the most. But the dogs specifically, depending upon if it's like over like 150, then obviously you want to dial it down just a little bit and not put a full unit on it. So I just go maybe like half or quarter, something like that, just to make sure that it balances out because I don't want to have a unit on 10 plays.
Yeah.
And that I'm just like kind of up and down on 6 through 10, but I'm really high on 1 through 5. Like if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see Gio, by the way, mentioning that in specific games, if you look at side and a total, do you bet a unit on each? Do you bet half a unit on each? Or
I bet the unit on each.
Yeah.
If I like both, if I like side and total, I bet a unit on each because
I feel like it being
more than likely they're correlated, right?
Yeah, I feel like it being in the same game shouldn't matter too much because if you do like the line itself and you feel like there's value, then it shouldn't matter. You shouldn't limit yourself from trying to capitalize on what you think is an edge just because it's in the same game.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I look at it.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think more than likely, like for instance, like if you want to do like we both like Texas. Well, I mean, I think I like them a little bit more than you. But
I said the run line, so I like Texas.
Yeah. So what was their money line price?
-160, give or take.
Yeah, and if you're into land, like in baseball, I don't really like land like over 150. I have to absolutely like love it.
My cutoff is usually 135.
Yeah, I'll lay 150. But I have to absolutely love it. Like I have to absolutely love it. But again, like I think that under in that game is kind of correlated to how Texas is. And I mean, they're gonna pitch really well. Although they might not get the ninth inning at bat, I think their pitching staff is just that good where they can limit it to 1 run and maybe score 3. So that's how
I feel like once again to go back to the edge point, it's good that we brought this up just in general. You have a decent amount of baseball games every day. You're going to be skipping a lot of games. In reality, you're not going to be a guy who's going to be betting on one play for every single game.
Right.
If you feel good about a game and you're willing to skip half the card anyway, then why would you limit yourself from trying to capitalize on what you think is a good wager? It shouldn't matter if you have action in the game already. If you like multiple plays in the same game and you feel good about them independently of one another, then why not bet both of them?
That's true. I like that. Yeah, that's true. So, I do it. I do it like that too. If I like, I'm trying to figure out a game on this slate where I like Texas and under.
There you go.
That's a perfect example.
Once again, I feel like some people might be afraid of, well, if I get this read wrong,
too much exposure. Yeah,
then I'm gonna have too much exposure. But then, what's the alternative? You're gonna bet 1 unit on a game that you really like instead of 2, and you'll probably bet a unit on another game that you like less because you have no exposure on it. I think exposure.
You can go 1-1 in a game if you like.
I think exposure on a particular game is a pretty, I don't want to say overrated concept, but it shouldn't scare you off of taking bets that you like. If you like multiple plays in one game, you shouldn't be afraid of taking your second play on a game because you already have action on it.
Yeah, I agree.
If you like multiple angles, then bet the angles.
Yeah, for sure.
How many angles do you think on a given card do you feel particularly good about on a given card? If you want to dive into all the prop stuff, etc., but let's say sides and totals. You have a 10-game slate. You probably feel good about what, like 3-4 sides maybe in there?
I would say 3 to 4.
Yeah, probably 3 or 4.
You probably feel real strong about 2 of them, and then you're kind of like over 60% on the other 2. But
correct.
You feel really strong about the first.
Point is,
so like 3 to 4.
Everybody has a play or 2 that they like more than the other plays they're betting anyway. That's usually how it goes. So if you have both those plays in the same game, why would you forfeit taking one of your more confident plays just to waste the unit on something you're less confident in?
Mm-hmm.
Because of exposure, which I think is an overrated concept in my opinion. Yes, you might get killed if you end up picking the game wrong, but if you get the game right, then you get both plays right.
That's just gambling, though. That's
what I'm saying. People tend to be afraid of losing in some cases more than recognizing they might actually have an edge on both the side and the total.
Yeah.
So I kind of treat each bet independently. If I like the side in a game, I'll bet it. If I like the total in the same game, if I really like the total, I'm still betting it. I'm not going to change my opinion on it because I already bet the side. That's kind of how I go about it. Moving on to the next game on the card. We have the Guardians taking on the Royals. Now, for this game, Guardians did lose today, but they're back to 500. You have Gavin Williams against Waka for this one, and the over-under in this game, I do see it being set at around, what is it at? I see 8.5 for the money line. I see Kansas City being favored at minus 120. I see Cleveland at around plus 100. Waka this season, 4-9, 3.62 ERA. Been good at home, though, a 2.72 ERA. Been good at his last 2 starts, as he has allowed 1 run each of the last 2. The problem is the Royals can't win when he pitches. They've lost 5 in a row, and they have lost 7 of his last 8 starts. So I understand Gavin Williams, a guy who I'm not the biggest fan of. He walks a lot of guys. The pitch count gets high quickly. He's been fine this season, though. A 3.54 ERA, and he has allowed 4 earned in his last 2 starts combined. But you know what? Give me Cleveland. Kansas City's offense should not be favored in this game against a pretty hot opponent. Kwan's back, who's healthy. We know he's a solid hitter on this team. Give me Cleveland. I think they're just the better team, and they're getting even money.
Completely agree, man. Kansas City's just inconsistent, similar to Waka. He's had back-to-back really good starts, but he had 9 combined runs in the prior 2. And that's not horrible, but just goes to show you just how up and down he's been. He's 1-5 since June, 10 walks in his last 4 games. Don't really trust their offense. Kansas City's actually took money because Cleveland was like minus 0.5 earlier today. But
I think the day off might help because Kansas City doesn't play and they have time to reset the bullpen and everything. And
that's fair
today.
Yeah,
but fair. Cleveland's been good. I don't mind.
8 of 11.
Yeah, I was going to say, I actually don't mind playing at a rest disadvantage when you're in good form. Because sometimes, I know it was the case with the All-Star break, which was not one day, but some teams like Boston, for example, the last thing you want in the middle of a streak is some time off.
Yep.
You want to just keep playing. So I actually don't mind it for Cleveland.
Shout out Dan Lanning. Yeah, I mean, Gavin Williams, I mean, he's another North Carolina guy as well. I mean, he's been really good in his last 2 home starts, 1 earned, 5 hits, with 18 Ks, but he's not been as good in his last 2 road starts, 7 earned. I mean, not horrible, 7 earned, 11 hits, 9 walks. That's where the concerns are. So if he can keep it down, again, I think we both are in agreement with the Kansas City offense just not being able to exploit that. It's just, can he stop walking guys and actually, get some whiffs and maybe some ground balls in the infield, because Cleveland's got a really good defense behind them. So I'm gonna take Williams, and I'm gonna take the plus money on Cleveland.
Yeah, I think once again the wrong team might be favored in this game. Moving on to the next game, I'm on the under, by the way, with these two offenses.
I like that as well.
Yeah, moving on to the next game, you have the A's taking on the Astros. Now, for this one, you have Springs against we don't know. So for this game, we have no lines because we don't know who's pitching for Houston. We know Houston, though, is the better team. The A's did not have a good time against the Rangers as they ran into an absolute buzzsaw, and they ended up scoring 5 runs in the entire series. Ended up losing 2-1. Shout out to Corbin, who was really good yesterday. But yeah, for the game itself, I mean, the A's have scored less than 3 runs in 4 straight. This team stinks. Houston had a pretty tough spot against Arizona in Arizona, and they swept. So I like how they've played. Give me Houston. I don't know what the line's going to be, but I don't trust the A's at all.
Yeah, I think Houston would be another parlay piece if you want to just sit them to the side.
I might go -1.5 because I'm really not a Springs guy at all.
Yeah. Man, it must be North Carolina Day because another North Carolina guy got Springs here. Went to App State. He's been pretty steady though. Outside of his last start, he's got some home run issues, 7 in his last 6, but he's been pretty good on the road, 3 or less in 4 of his last 5. But I mean, Houston is just. I mean, they do it. They do what Houston does.
I don't know how they win games, but they keep winning games.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter who's in the lineup. They've got 4 straight wins. They're back home after a 2-series road trip. They played Seattle, pretty well. But I mean, I would just like price dependent. But it would be Houston or nothing though.
Yeah, and even with Houston, Paredes got injured, and it's like, all right, who cares?
It really doesn't matter with them.
It doesn't matter, Paredes gets hurt, we'll win 4 in a row, we'll call up some prospect who hits 2 home runs immediately. Was it Matthews, I think was his name?
I think so.
Yeah, so he had a couple home runs in one of the games against Arizona. Like, I don't even know how the hell they win these games, but they find ways to win. Good enough for me. They give me Houston in this one. Moving on to the Nationals taking on the Twins. For this one, you have Gore against Matthews, coincidentally. For the actual money line, I see Washington +110. Minnesota is -130. For the over-under, I see 8.5 or 8. Now, Gore's a guy who has talent, but it just has been a very interesting start to his young career. He was awful his first start out of the All-Star break as he went 2 1/3, gave up 8 runs against the Padres, but we know he's still a pretty solid pitcher as a whole. For the Twins, you have Matthews, who's been really bad this season, a 6.26 ERA. He's made 1 start since the beginning of June, since the 5th of June, because he ended up getting injured, and he was not good. 4 innings, 5 runs. It was in Coors, though, so we'll see how he does in this one. But simply put, Minnesota laying 125, 130 with Matthews, I think is insane. I don't think Zebby's actually that good, and I know Gore got shelled against his former team in San Diego last time out. But he's clearly better than Matthews. Give me +110.
Yeah, I don't disagree. This is this is 2 more North Carolina guys. This must be a North Carolina card today. This is 2 more North Carolina guys going against each other. I like Gore more than Matthews for obvious reasons. Gore's always been like this. I mean, even since high school, he's either got it or he doesn't, and really fast. He gave up 5 in the first inning.
That's why after that bad start, I'm just assuming he goes 6 innings, 10 strikeouts in this game. We'll call it a day.
Yeah, early if he has it or if he doesn't, because he has no hit stuff, maybe 3 innings. It's always 1 inning where he might be a little bit shaky.
He'll walk a guy, he'll give up some hit, and then
but I mean that's just who he is, and usually he typically can get strikeouts regardless, but he hasn't been doing that as of late. He's had 2 strikeouts in 2 of his last 3 games, which is eyebrow raising. But he's been pretty good on the road, 2 or less in 6 of his last 7 on the road. Prior to that, it's like his worst outing of the year. He had allowed 2 or less in the 4 games prior, or 3 games prior. I'm sorry. So
well, he had the really bad start against the Orioles a couple months ago, which might be worse than that one.
Yeah, there might be 1A, 1B. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Washington here as well. I mean, Colorado rocked him. 5 runs off 8 hits. So Washington's offense it's been hit or miss, but I think they can get some. I think they can get some runs off of Matthews. So I like Washington plus the was it plus 115?
Yeah, plus 115, plus 110. I just think that Matthews being minus 130 is insane. So
agreed. I love the over too, though. I mean, Washington's over in 7 of 10. Minnesota's under in 7 of the last 10, but they've scored 4+ runs in 4 of the last 6. If they can give you 4 runs, I think the Washington offense can score 6. So I like the over.
I can get behind that. I don't mind Nationals team total over. I'll avoid Gore. I'll just fade Matthews in this one. Moving on to Seattle, taking on the Angels. You have Wu against Soriano. For this one, you have the Mariners at around minus 125, give or take. I do see the Angels at around plus 105. For the over-under in this game, I see it being set at 8.5. Now, Seattle has been trying to hang in there. As for the Angels, they got swept by the Mets. It was not pretty. But I'll ask you for this one, because Soriano might be a trade piece guy if we're talking about some pitchers who might be, I'd say, affordable to get. It would make sense for Soriano to be a potential flip guy who is 7-7, 3.83 ERA. Really bad at home, though, a 5.65 ERA. He has allowed 3 earned in his last 2 starts combined, so he has been pitching a little bit better. Then again, he was not good 2 starts ago, but he had some unearned runs, which factored in. Wu, though, I like. He's 8-5, 2.91 ERA. Was not good last start, but besides that, he has been solid. He was an all-star. I'll go with the Mariners. I think it should be a bigger price, in my opinion. Soriano's home numbers speak for themselves. I think Seattle should be minus 140. I think 120, 125 is too cheap. The Angels were really good for the first 4 innings against the Mets and got killed the rest of the series. I'll go with the Mariners at minus 125.
Completely agree. Step down in competition for Seattle. If you look at their last 2 opponents, we talked about Houston, and I forgot the other one that they played.
The Brewers, and that was not fun.
Yeah, right. So those have been their last 2 opponents, and now they're going to play the Angels. So a little breather there. They still got to perform, though. Wu's been – I like Wu a lot. He has allowed, he allowed 4 earned in his last start versus Houston, and he allowed 4 combined in his last 5. That just goes to show you how dominant he's been. But he's been pretty good on the road, 2 or less in 3 straight games. Soriano, you talked about the road numbers. He's got the home numbers. He's got walk issues as well. I think Seattle a little bit too short here. I would make it around 140 as well. So I'm in agreement with you. I like Seattle as well.
Yep. Moving on to the last game on the card, you have the Mets taking on the Giants. For this one, you have the Mets using Holmes against Webb. And for the over-under, 7.5. For the money line, Giants minus 140. Mets are plus 120. Going to be very short for me. It's Webb at home. Give me the under. 7.5? We've been getting 7s or 6.5s the entire year. 7.5? Sure. I've been waiting for 7.5 with Webb at home.
I kind of like the over, man. I really do. I'll tell you why. Because maybe a San Francisco team total over, but Holmes has not been good lately. I don't know if he's wearing down. 4+ runs and 2 of his last 3.
Well, he's wearing down because he's not an actual starter. But yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's got 5 or less Ks in his last 7, so he's allowed a lot of contact. Less than 4 Ks in 5 of those 7 games. Webb's contact has been really, really high.
Yep.
And I think if the Mets offense kind of take advantage of that, I think I'm going to go over, Scott. I think I'm going to go over. Webb's 10 earned on 17 hits in his last 2 starts. Not great. Mets can hit the ball. I'm going to take over. I'm going to go against you here. I'm going to take over. I don't really absolutely love it, but I like it.
I get what you're saying, but for the sake of Logan Webb, I'd say stands around, including myself. The home unders have just been a system play for me for years.
No, that's fair.
And it's worked out well for me. So 7.5, I appreciate it. I'll go with the under for that one. It's going to wrap it up, though, for all the games on the card. Time to move on into the Lock and Dog picks. Before getting to the Lock and Dog, reminder, they're brought to you by MyBookie, because they're available in a ton of locations. Use them with crypto. for fast payouts. Use Pods or Samp, though. You can also use it for baseball, WNBA, golf, tennis, of course, football futures. Head to MyBook.ag, promo code SGPN when you sign up to get a special 100% deposit match up to 1K. Terms and conditions apply. MyBook.ag, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, because you've heard us talk about Rhythm before. They have a game-changing feature called Power Trends, which are the best of the best when it comes to the house models and what they have to offer. And they've been really good so far in baseball and in WNBA. MLB, they have a win rate of 63%. WNBA win rate of 63.6%. Download the app, check out Power Trends, start getting smarter. You can also try it for free for a week by using the 7-day free trial. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm to get your 7-day free trial. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm to get your 7-day free trial. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through all the games on the card. Time to move on into the lock and dog picks. Lonte, what's going to be your lock and dog for the show?
Yeah, so let's go with I'm gonna take two road teams actually. So let's go with the Snakes. See if you can find a -120. I think that this is a decent price for them. I don't really trust Burrows at all. Nelson is the better pitcher, obviously, and I know Arizona's been a little bit inconsistent, and Pittsburgh's been surging a little bit, but I do think that Nelson will be able to shut down the Pittsburgh offense. Shouldn't take much, and I trust the Arizona offense to kind of get things done. I think they're the best unit on the field of the four. So let's go with Arizona minus the 120. And for the dog, we talked about it. I love the Cubs in this spot. I think we're getting a lot of value on a -1.5. You can get plus money on that. Anything with a plus sign beside it, I think it's good to go. They've dominated the White Sox as of late. 3-0 this year against them, outscoring them about close to 20 runs. Imanaga should be able to shut down that offense. And I think the Cubs will be able to score. So -1.5 for the Cubbies. Let me see if I can get the exact number on that. That is – what is the exact number? That is – actually, it's not plus money. Jesus, it moved.
Wait, you said for the Cubs?
Yeah, it moved. It was even money, but it's like –
I see -115.
Yeah, so let's switch that though. Just throw out that whole handicap, and let's go with the -1.5 on Baltimore. Plus, that's even money.
All right. So for my lock on the show, what did I want to go with here? You know what? I think I'm just going to do it because I like how the team's played, and I think the other team's falling apart. Give me Toronto. I'll take Berrios here. Berrios actually been good to me so far this season. Montero's been fine. Detroit, though, really can't hit. It's been a mess. They've lost, once again, it's either 8 of 9 or 9 of 10. And Toronto beat the Yankees in a series. They look pretty good right now. I think that they are in a pretty cheap price point for a team that is in free fall in Detroit. Give me the Blue Jays at -115 as my lock for the show. For the dog, I had a bunch of options because I actually did like a decent amount of dogs for the card. You know what? I think I am going to back the hot hand here. Why not? I like the price. Give me the Rangers -1.5 at +135. They've been really good. I like Eovaldi. Wentz isn't a real starting pitcher, and the Braves stink. If we've not said that before, I'll go with the Rangers a -1.5 as my dog for the show. Now it's time for the home run picks for the card. Lonte, who's your home run choice?
Yeah, well, I couldn't take the Cubs for the dog, but let's go with Dansby Swanson. He's got a 4-game hit streak going on. He's been hitting the ball pretty well. I do think that there'll be a lot of runs on the Cubs side, so let's go with Dansby Swanson for the dog. I mean, for the home run prop.
All right. So for mine, I'm just quickly seeing. Yeah, I gotta go. Probably fading Mikolas here. It's too fun. Yeah. You know what? It's either gonna be a Machado or.
I was looking at Machado.
He hasn't been amazing. It's Mikolas. He's only batting .235 against him. He does have 2 home runs. Yeah, I'll do it. Give me Machado in this one. He's been in pretty good form. Had a double yesterday. 2 hits. That's good enough for me. Give me Machado to go yard against Mikolas. I wanted somebody against Mikolas, and Machado makes sense. I'll go with that as my home run choice. Anyway, it's going to wrap it up for the show. We're back once again to get into the games for Saturday. But until next time, of course, find me on Twitter, Radio. Find him on Twitter at XSonteXX. Until next